Hey, this your boy Butler, man. That's the best day of my life. Tomorrow's not promised. Go on, do your little dance while they still playing your song. I have not seen this. I'm going to respond to it. Some of you may be aware of this story. Some of you may not. Let's see.
In the Spalding County jail tonight, charged in the shocking starvation of one of their children. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor has been following that story all afternoon. Angelique, those parents are facing several other charges as well, aren't they?
That's right, Russ. There are a long list of charges for those parents. Police call this just an unspeakable case of child abuse. They say this 10-year-old was walking in the street, that he was confused, that he was barefoot, and that he was hungry. That child is still being treated in the hospital tonight.
It's disturbing. It's heartbreaking. And it is tragic.
The Griffin Judicial Circuit DA called this starvation case of a 10-year-old boy one of the worst she has seen. Police say the child managed to escape his family's home this past Friday and was found wandering here on Westminster Circle by a neighbor. The DA's voice cracked as she described the disturbing conditions of the boy, who only weighed 36 pounds.
Nice.
It's heartbreaking. I mean, as a mother, I can't comprehend it, but as a human being, it breaks your heart. We aren't releasing any photos of this child for obvious reasons, but I will tell you the photos are absolutely horrible. And anyone with a human heart that looks at them should be shaken to their core. I certainly was.
The child was rushed to the hospital and is being treated for malnutrition and a low heart rate. The DA believes the neighbors saved the child's life.
It is my true belief that had he not gotten out of the home, that this case would be a very different one.
Neighbors tell Fox 5 the parents, Tyler and Krista Schindley, who are charged with attempted murder and child cruelty, among other charges, often left their older children at home for days while they vacationed. Kim Siegler lives right next door and sensed that something was odd.
That's just horrible. It's a horrible who.
You know what? One time, it's not funny, but one time I delivered. So I delivered for Lowe's and Home Depot and stuff like that. So appliances, and then we would install them. And, you know, sometimes we would come to houses and we could refuse a delivery. Sometimes you get penalized for that. But sometimes, like, houses were so nasty and so dirty. Bro, I got to this old white lady house one day, bro. The smell was horrible. And she was getting a stove or something, bro. It was a dog on a bed in the front room. It was just animals everywhere, bro. It was animals everywhere. So I told her, I said, man, we can deliver, but I cannot install. And it was a strong ammonia smell, I guess, to try to do something with the pee smell. But so I told her, I was like, man, I can't deliver. I say, this is inhumane. Like, this is. So then she came outside and she was like, I'm going to call your supervisor and I'm going to do all this stuff. I was like, man, you should call. And while you doing that, I'm going to call the people that's in charge of the animals. Let's do that. Oh, she switched up so hard. There's no need to call them. These animals are well taken care of. I'm sorry, you talking about the dead puppy that's stuck in the doorway? It's some weird people in this world, bro. Some of them are left alone. Some of them are interacting with our kids. Some of them are interacting with you. Hey, man, you got to be very careful. Be very careful.
Who could even think of doing such a thing? And the fact that they're my neighbor is just really made me feel kind of bad, like I should have been more observant.
Police call this an active investigation. We knocked on the Schindley family's door Tuesday afternoon. The couple's oldest son told us he had no connection to the case.
I'm not too close to the situation right now. I'm just actually watching the house. I don't really have any comment at this time on the story. So.
But they are your parents?
Yes.
Now, the two suspects made their first court appearance on yesterday. The 4 remaining children who were living here are all in DFACS custody. We are live in Griffin tonight. Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
Just such a disturbing situation. Angelique, thanks.
First, new at 5, we're learning more about a horrific child abuse case in Griffin tonight. A third person's under arrest in connection with the starvation case of a 10-year-old boy. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Tom Haynes.
I'm Courtney Bryan. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor joins us live in Spalding County. And Angelique, in addition to the child's parents, an older brother is now charged.
What?
That's right, Courtney. Now, we first told you about this starvation case last month, but now Griffin police are saying the 10-year-old's stepbrother, his older stepbrother, is now charged with 2 counts of strangulation. According to police, he used his bare hands to choke his little brother.
Why?
Fox 5 News has learned 20-year-old Ethan Washburn is now in jail. Griffin police have charged him with 2 counts of aggravated assault in connection with the heartbreaking child abuse case involving his 10-year-old little brother. You may recall Ethan's mother, Krista, and stepfather, Tyler, were charged with attempted murder last month in the starvation case of their 10-year-old son. The Spalding County DA tells us neighbors found the child wandering here on Westminster Circle and hungry. They say he begged not to be taken back to his family's home. Many neighbors who did not want to reveal their identity say the abuse is unspeakable.
I was very surprised to hear something like that happen in the neighborhood, especially seeing the kids. They were always just playing outside, so it seemed like a pretty normal family. Sad to hear. I didn't know they had another son that's involved, like the whole family. That's pretty crazy to hear.
The 10-year-old weighed only 36 pounds when he was found and has been treated in the hospital for malnutrition and a low heart rate. The DA for the Griffin Judicial Circuit was disturbed by the child's condition.
We aren't releasing any photos of this child for obvious reasons, but I will tell you the photos are absolute.
Saying he choked his 10-year-old stepbrother.
I'm not too close to the situation right now. I'm just actually watching the house. I don't really have any comment at this time on the story. So.
But they are your parents?
Yes.
So wait.
And of course,
right now, I'm just actually...
Defendant. Ethan said he was just house sitting, but authorities have charged him with strangulation, saying he choked his 10-year-old stepbrother.
I'm not too close to the situation right now. I'm just actually watching the house. I don't really have any comment at this time on the story. So.
But they are your parents?
Yes.
And of course, a lot of neighbors, everybody wants to know, how is that 10-year-old boy doing? We asked officials because we wanted to know if his health had improved, but they declined to comment. We are live in Griffin. Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
A judge today denied bond for a Griffin couple accused of starving their 10-year-old son. Fox 5's Doug Evans has more on the hearing. It was the first time the couple has appeared in public since their arrests.
An uphill legal battle for the Schindleys, who appeared before a judge in Griffin and asked to be released on bond. They had no lawyer, called no witnesses, and gave the judge no assurances that if he let them out, they'd behave themselves. Krista and Tyler Schindley are accused of starving their 10-year-old son, who a neighbor found wandering down the street, emaciated and hungry last May. Authorities say the boy weighed just 36 pounds. At the bond hearing, prosecutors argued that the couple was a flight risk, capable of intimidating witnesses, including their other 4 children. The judge agreed and added his belief that they'd be a threat to the community as well if set free on bond. The Schindleys are charged with attempted murder, false imprisonment, and cruelty to children. Arrest warrants accuse the couple of locking the boy in his room for extended periods without food and water. The couple's son, Ethan Washburn, has also been charged in the case with aggravated assault against the same child. As for the little boy, there was no mention in court as to his current health and recovery. The next legal step for the Schindleys is a preliminary hearing, which they'll wait for, locked up in jail. In Spalding County, Doug Evans, Fox 5 News.
In Spalding County, a dad accused of starving and neglecting his 10-year-old son told the judge today he is not guilty. Police arrested Tyler Schindley and his wife Krista after someone found the boy walking to the store weighing just 36 pounds. As Fox 5's Rob D'Arienzo reports, at today's arraignment, the couple told the judge they're having money problems.
The couple told the Spalding County Superior Court judge they have no lawyer, can't afford one, and the public defender's office denied them help. The details of what they're accused of are just stomach-turning. Police arrested Tyler and Krista Schindley after a neighbor found their 10-year-old son.
Yeah, we got that.
Not enough to obtain an attorney, no.
Police also charged their 20-year-old son, Ethan, with aggravated assault against the 10-year-old. At Monday's hearing, Tyler Schindley entered a plea of not guilty.
Records. The district attorney who put the Schindleys away.
Do you know if the judge who signed off on the adoption was aware of any of this?
It's sealed, so we
the
don't
kids
know.
are adopted.
That's something we tried to look into, but it's sealed.
Marie Broder and Chief Assistant DA Catherine Leonard said they're aware of 3 DFACS investigations, all involving food, and all apparently declared unfounded by DFACS. They also learned about the horrors the boy endured. Kept locked in his room, the windows screwed shut and covered with film. Fed rotten vegetables, forced to eat outside, forced to take ice-cold baths, struck with a belt. His own biological siblings, who were 3 and 4 years younger, encouraged to take part in abuse with the parents.
There was one incident that the children recounted that they threw a hot dog in the pool, and so he was fighting, drowning to try to get to that hot dog, and they all stood by the pool laughing at him.
Noggle told us what probably drove the adoption going forward, despite the red flags, a shortage of foster families, and DFACS wanting to keep the siblings together.
And I think this ought to be a wake-up call to our churches and to our communities, that instead of pointing the fingers when these things happen, we ought to be looking, saying, what can we do to help? How good would it be that if one family came up and there was a concern about the family adopting, and the state had 5 other people that wanted to adopt 5 kids?
Now, we also weren't able to see the criminal case file. The DA's office and police declined to release it, saying the Schindleys might still appeal their sentences. Wayne Noggle says if anyone wants to take up his call to foster children or lend help, he can be reached through the Families for Families website. We'll post a link on our website. And Russ and Courtney, he also said that if he had other options for these kids, he might have taken a stronger stand against this adoption with the state.
Wow. I hear what you're saying about
It's the sister, the twins, and he was being forced on her.
But even more extraordinary, the faith-based foster care agency that recruited the Schindleys and paired them up with the children says it also told DFACS the Schindleys weren't fit to adopt any children.
There were some concerns from the child that maybe he didn't feel safe.
Families for Families contracts with the state to recruit and support foster families. But Director Wayne Noggle said the agency walked away from the adoption, pulling the family's foster home license.
We got to a place as an agency that we did not feel that we could continue to support the adoption anymore. The state basically just reopened the home underneath their name, and then we were completely out of the case.
What came out in court begs the question, how were the Schindleys allowed to adopt the boy, or any of the children for that matter? It's hard to say because adoption records are sealed. We tried talking to DFACS about this case, but the agency wouldn't comment, citing state and federal privacy laws.
DFACS also confirming no employee faces disciplinary action over this case. Guess who else couldn't access adoption or early DFACS records? The district attorney.
See, this is the thing right here. When you don't hold people accountable, then that shit continues to go on. Hold somebody accountable and see the next time. See what's going on. If you start holding the employees accountable for the lives and the livelihood of these kids, guess what they're going to do? They're going to do their fucking job. If you don't, this will continue to take place. You ain't fixing nothing. You can sentence these people, but if you got 5 more cases like this, Let's hope 3 of them get reported. That's wild. I'm trying to see how much time they got.
Adopt the boy, and she told that to the State Division of Family and Children 30 years in prison, plus to cut their criminal trial short, pleading guilty to all charges, including cruelty to children, false imprisonment, and attempted murder. The judge sentencing both parents to 40 years in prison plus 20 years on probation. Just before the sentencing, some testimony that raised even more questions about already unthinkable crimes.
We recommended against the adoption to the state.
In 2020, 3 years before the boy's escape in 2023, the Schindleys had adopted the boy and his 4 younger siblings, who were 2 sets.
See, here's where it get real, because the state allowed for these kids to go in here against somebody else's, the church's advisement. So you ignored that, and then you get in here, the kids being abused, and then the state's gonna prosecute your ass. Somebody else has to be held accountable, because the kids are the only people that really suffer. Because we just had another situation in the state of Georgia. Hold on. Georgia dads for you had another case that just went on. What? That wasn't even what I was talking about, bro. That's the one.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. Developing now, a couple is behind bars accused of producing child porn. Authorities say with their adopted kids. It allegedly happened at their Oxford home. CBS 46's Yasmina Alston is live for us in Walton County with these disturbing details. Yasmina, good evening.
Yes, Amanda, good evening, and very disturbing details indeed. The Walton County Sheriff's Office says that it was an investigation by the GBI that led them to the couple. According to authorities, the couple was making in their home. Zachary Zulak and his husband William Zulak are being charged for child sex crimes. The Walton County Sheriff's Office raided their home on St. Regis Way in Oxford and found that both men were engaging in sexually abusive acts and videotaping it with their adopted sibling children. The 2 children were taken out of harm's way, police saying that material was being downloaded, which was discovered during a search warrant in unincorporated Loganville. Now, we did speak with neighbors in that community off camera. They did not want to speak on camera, but they do say it was very shocking to find out that was happening, and they said it was...
Hey, man. I don't even want to see that, bro. Hey, man, that's wild, bro. They got to come up with a better system, man. DFAC's looking bad right now. Yeah, DFAC is looking horrible. Using adopted, arrested in Georgia for using their adopted kids to make porn. Teacher charged with child pornography. Bro, y'all tweaking, bro.
Breaking news tonight, a local teacher charged with possessing child pornography.
Ross Cadati is live with details on the allegations from the Westmoreland County DA's office. Ross.
Hey, Ken, the DA's office saying that Charles Kirkland, who's also a business teacher inside the Homer Center School District, had multiple alleged child...
I don't want to see no more of this, bro. Hey, man, at the end of the day, bro, you got to be cautious, man. Damn, man. So, I got to tell this story. I did work for DFACS at some point in time, and I had a kid that was up under my caseload. His name was Amir Harris. He wasn't really on my caseload. He was up under my supervision. Amir had autism. I've done several stories on him. I spoke at his funeral. I spoke at his balloon release. That was at, was that Grant Park or Piedmont Park? But, bro, I quit working for DFACS for this very same reason. Because this kid two kids got into a fight. When they got into a fight, because Amir he had diabetes as well. And for whatever reason, at the age of 16, bro, he was still peeing on himself. That boy pee used to smell like deer sweat or something along those lines. But nevertheless, when he got into a fight with the other kid, when I left work, coming back, I thought that, one of the two kids would be transported to a different location because the entity in which I was employed at, they had several locations. Amir was still there. They just took all the doors off of the rooms. So then the weird part, this is why I feel so strongly about, defects not doing their job, bro. I know a lot of people that was raised in defects custody, man. They end up on a chain. And most of the people that I know that was raised in defects custody, bro, they had a hard life. Shouts out to Roger and Jasmine, both raised in defects. Almir, man, he just got did over real bad by the system, bro. Let me see if I can bring up his story real quick. Cause man, it's just unfortunate, bro. These are just all my stories. Let me see. Rest in peace to Almir Harris. This is Almir Harris, but this is at another facility. I think this is at Carl. So he ended up passing away in prison. Almir ended up passing away in the day room because they didn't give him his insulin. But he was raised by defects, ended up making it to prison, bro. But I just feel like defects is failing our kids, man. That's Almir Harris right there.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. He's got a hold of your leads. You got the second one ready? Get on the ground.
He's about to tase him. But yeah, Almir died December 31st at Baldwin State Prison. Rest in peace to Almir, man.
I will help you if you do what I'm asking.
I talked to his mom, and she told me that what had took place was Almir was unalived, but man, it had got real bad, bro. Like he had meth in his system. This is a whole bunch of stuff, man, that he should not have been subjected to. Rest in peace to Almir Harris, man, and shouts out to everybody dealing with kids with autism, man. It takes a special person to deal with that population. Like you have to have a heart for it. So I just want to give a shout out to every parent and every caregiver that's dealing with kids who have autism. But I don't care what you have, you should be treated like a human at the end of the day. Those young men who were with those two fathers that disregarded their lives, they're going to deal with y'all. And the two parents, the Schindlers or the Schindleys that had that young man at 10 years old weighing 36 pounds and the brother that choked him out, man, there's a warm place in hell for you. And it's just my opinion. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, man, white, black, Hispanic, bro, humans should be treated like humans. And if you can't grasp that concept, bro, then maybe you should go put on a football helmet and ride a bus with an elevator on it. We out.